Commissioner, good evening.
John.
I appreciate you coming by.
I wouldn't have missed this for the world. What's it all about?
Well, I'm sorry I had to set this meeting a little late, but our guest just arrived on a plane from Washington.
Guest?
An official of the State Department is joining us. He'll be right in.
State Department? What's this got to do with the waterfront?
Everything, Robert. Suddenly, this project has gotten much bigger than we'd ever imagined. We're talking about a total rejuvenation of the waterfront. Beyond our wildest dreams, you won't be able to recognize the place.
Hand me them pliers there, will you, Bart? Hey, Bart.
What?
You with me or against me?
What do you mean?
I need you to pay attention to what you're doing. Hand me them pliers there, would you?
Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff. I'm just having a little trouble concentrating.
Yeah, I noticed.
I sure wish Natalie would get back.
Hey, how was the trip?
Oh, it was actually very good, thanks. How are you?
Long drive,
I'm tired. Yep,
Well, you saw her?
I did.
And?
She's fine. So when I showed up for my tour, a nurse came into Dr. Hardy's office.
Barbara Jean?
Have you heard this before?
No.
Yes, Nurse Spencer herself.
Well, how is she? How does she look? What's she
She's
doing?
fine, and she looks great. She obviously has the Spencer spirit.
Yeah, well, Bobbie got the brains. I, however, got the body.
And then during the tour, I met your Aunt Ruby.
Yeah.
She also seems to be doing well.
Where's she living?
Ruby and Bobbie are both living in the head nurse's apartment of, what's her name, Mrs. Brewster?
Oh, Brewer. Jesse Brewer.
Yes, that's where they're staying.
Must be crowded.
Well, it's only for the time being. Evidently, they're going to get a place of their own.
Well, what about Robert?
Oh, the commissioner.
Oh, Commissioner. I'm telling you, I'm still having a lot of trouble thinking of him as the commissioner.
You've been away too long. No, apparently he is the toast of Port Charles. I heard the city even built him his own townhouse.
All right. You know, I knew that that old rat trap Victorian thing was not going to be his style.
So I guess that about covers it.
Okay, now how did you get to talk to her without telling her about me? You didn't tell her about me, did
I
you?
didn't have to. I just happened to stumble on her at a restaurant called the Floating Rib.
You happened to?
Well, let's call it an arranged coincidence. Anyway, once Holly heard that I was from Indian Head, it was all I could do to get a word in edgewise.
What did she say?
She looks wonderful.
Hey,
She's
look.
a beautiful woman.
Listen, you don't have to tell me what I already know. What did she say?
I would say that her memories are what's keeping her going. At least for the time being.
Well, she doesn't have long to wait now.
Well, I'm sure she'll be there when you return.
Did she say if she's working?
No.
Oh. Well, she probably is. Robert probably helped her find something. I'm sure he's taken good care of her.
Commissioner Scorpio, Mr. Rakos of the State Department.
Pleasure to meet you, Commissioner. I've heard some good things about you.
In Washington?
You'd be surprised how widespread your reputation is.
Now, please, gentlemen, sit down.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Rakos, the floor is all yours.
Well, I'm sure you must be curious about the federal government's interest in your city's waterfront.
To put it mildly.
I won't keep you in suspense any longer. Our country is vitally interested in promoting better international understanding, especially with the third world nations.
That's what I hear, generally around election time.
It's not just a slogan, it's an ongoing commitment. One of our major concerns is aiding these underdeveloped nations to build their industry, culture, commerce, and the like.
I know it's a good way to make friends and influence enemies.
Exactly. I don't have to tell you how much goodwill is worth on the international market.
Especially these days, this is in such short supply.
Which is partly why, with the help of Senator Martin Drake, we've chosen Port Charles to house an international exposition.
Okay, now, why us?
Because the government wants to emphasize cities the size of Port Charles, along with the New Yorks and the Los Angeleses. We're expecting the exposition to bring a huge influx of foreign visitors here, and we've determined Port Charles is an attraction in itself. It's a port city on a major river. It's near Canada.
I know, and it's also rather untapped when we're talking about tourism.
Well, hopefully not for long, which means you'll have to start thinking about security.
This is all rather fascinating. And it'll certainly be quite a feather in the cap of Port Charles. But what does it have to do with the waterfront?
May I?
Be my guest.
Scott Baldwin needs $10 million to pull off his waterfront project, right?
Last I heard.
The government will provide the $10 million for the land not yet financed for development.
What if Scotty doesn't go along with this?
Uncle Sam exercises his right of eminent domain, and the land is ours.
You guys aren't going to mess around, are you?
Not when it counts. Well, as soon as we make a decision and draft an agreement, I'll be in touch with you. We'll have a lot to talk about.
Good.
Where's she living?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Well, I didn't
Natalie?
get a chance to talk to her that much, you know.
Oh. Well, how's she spending her time, you know? I mean, she must
don't
be working.
know.
Well, I wonder what she's doing with her days.
All I could find out was that Holly seems to be spending a lot of time with her friend Celia.
Celia? Who's that?
I have no idea. I thought you'd know.
No, she must be new in town. Of course.
What? You do know her?
Well, no, I don't, but I'll lay odds Robert's found himself a new girlfriend. What else?
That's all.
Well, she didn't say anything about her plans?
Only that she wanted to go back up the mountain again.